It is Zoe at Zoe Fitness, and I am here today to assist you in better getting through our current environment, which is most of us are at stay at home only for essentials. So I'm here today to talk to you about home gym. I have been in the fitness industry for so many years, decades. And I started my home gym for under $200. And today I want to share that knowledge with you so that I can assist you in getting through the other side of this much sooner than if we didn't have a way to release some of the stress that we have here at home. All the gyms are closed, all the pools are closed. Thank God outside is still open for most of us. So let's run through that real quick. I started with a physio ball, which is super important. You can do so much with a physio ball. I highly recommend having one in every single home gym that you have. For my older clients, I simply recommend a chair. I use chairs even with some of my younger clients. If they have weak knees or weak hips or imbalances within their hips, it's just a great safe way to start the squat. I brought the foam roller over today. I think that was the first piece of equipment I bought probably 30 years ago when I was working at Langford Physical Therapy. As everybody knows, the foam roller can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And if anybody has seen me on the foam roller, you know it makes me scream. So the other things that I purchased in the beginning was a set of 3-pounders. You definitely want a lighter set of weights, especially because I really get into working some of the smaller muscles of the shoulder. I have one client who absolutely shrugs every time I bring out the pink weights because he knows we're going to be getting into an area that for him and for many Americans, because of our activities and our sitting at desks and everything's in the front, there's a lot of the shoulder gets very weak. I also recommend having a set of 5-pound weights. Yes, this is for even the strongest of the strongs. Again, the work that I do, we get into a lot of these really smaller muscles that have been overlooked. We have the tendency to strengthen the big muscle groups. And because of that, I'm finding that we have a lot of imbalances and structural instabilities, and hence a lot of orthopedic injuries. I do not have a set of 12-pound weights. I will tell you that I started with 12. These are 10s. So I would recommend a 10, a 12, and or a 15. Again, you can do a lot of work with those. If you are going to get one set, I would recommend doing 12s. 12s is in between 10 and 15, and that way you'll be, for the most part, set. I think it's very important to have a set of bands with handles. Bands with handles is basically the greatest invention ever. You can make the resistance easier or harder depending on the distance that you have in between you and the place that you put the band. I always recommend having something like this. Let me show it to you a little bit closer. It goes into a door. So then you can do high from low, you can do straight, or you can do low from high. And every angle in between that, super important. I know when you order online, this apparatus actually comes with a set of bands. I've had clients make this little contraption, and I've also had people purchase it at big box stores. Bands that actually come with this piece. Again, you're going to be able to increase the number of exercises tremendously if you have this little apparatus. And then the last piece of equipment I really recommend is having a closed band like this. Usually they come in a box of 3. You can get them at box stores, order them online. And just like with the handled bands, each color is a certain resistance. And this type of band goes a long way. A lot of times people have bands on hand that they've gone through physical therapy. I mean, really, in this day and age, who hasn't gone through physical therapy? And so when you go through PT, you actually have a band that is wider than this one. And it doesn't have handles on it, but all you have to do is tie it in a knot and you get that same thing. So the idea is you want to try to get creative and use the things that you have at home. You can also very simply tie the ends of this, okay? There's a lot of ways to increase the amount of equipment that you have just by simply taking a few minutes to think about how to do it and just getting creative. So some of the extras, I have a bench that I purchased back when I lived in Texas. You can do it without a bench. That's why the ball is so great. This is kind of a new addition. I love this. I can do a modified pull-up. I can also attach it to something and then be able to work inner thighs, outer thighs in a lunge, but then also isolate hamstrings and quadriceps a little bit more on a lunge as well. Again, this is in addition to the first items that I mentioned to you. Another plus to have is a medicine ball. It's not a necessity. You can do everything with a medicine ball that you can do with a dumbbell. It's just a matter of how you actually hold the dumbbell. If I want to use it, I can also use it as a kettlebell. Just simply changing the way that I'm holding it. Not a necessity, but a great thing to have. I do also have a kettlebell. Again, there's nothing you can't do with a dumbbell that you can't do with a kettlebell. So again, it's just a matter of changing the angle, how you're holding it, that increases the functionality of it. Yeah, and I'm looking, just took a moment to look around and to see what other things that I have. For the most part, that's it. That's going to get you a full body workout with as little equipment as possible. And I gave you a few hints of things that you could add to your collection above and beyond the original, which is foam roller, physio ball, 3-pound, 5-pound, 12-pound weights, and band with handle, and a band that is a circle. So that's it for today. I will be offering an online class if I have enough interest in it. So let me know what you think of this video, if you have these items on hand, and if a class is something you'd be interested in. Thank you.